It's Wednesday, March 14th, 2018. It's Pi Day. Why is it called Pi Day? Because pi starts out 3.14, so people have called this Pi Day. Actually, it's Eezeey Gamer. And today, the topic is going to be games that critics love, want us to buy, but yet we don't buy as the gaming public. Why? Why do critics recommend certain games over and over again? They keep recommending these games. Every time you hear people at like IGN or GameSpot or some, people that review games, they always tell you, you have to play these games, you have to play, but nobody ever plays them. Why? Well, let me explain a little bit. Let's look at a game like Shadow of the Colossus. How long have they been trying to push that game on us? They keep re-releasing it, remastering it, redoing everything, but yet it never has huge sales numbers. It just keeps getting made over and over again. It's the same game. They never add anything to it. They just update the graphics and tell you, you should buy this. And the critics love it. It's basically you going around and killing giant creatures that are doing nothing to you. They're not doing anything to you. Your job is just to go kill them so you can resurrect your girlfriend. The giants didn't kill her. It's just some evil force decided to make you. It's like, if you go kill these big things, I'll bring your girlfriend back to life. Why? I mean, I've seen this game and it looks mildly interesting, but I don't want to buy it. And neither do a lot of you. And we don't. Shadow of the Colossus is just one of those games that still boggles my mind to this day that they keep re-releasing. It even has a PS4 release. This thing was released way back on the PS2. And still about 10 years later, they still keep churning this thing out in remastering. I don't care. Then we'll go to another game, Ico. Ico is another game made by the same development team that made Shadow of the Colossus. It's one of those games where it's like, you're in a castle and you're the main protagonist and you're dragging around some girl everywhere through the castle trying to escape. Does that sound fun to you? Nope, doesn't sound fun to me either, but yet critics keep ramming that game down our throats. They want us to play that game. Critics all the time. If you listen to people, you gotta play Ico or Eco or however you want to pronounce it. Gotta play Ico. It's a classic. It's a classic to critics. Critics like it. Beyond Good and Evil. I'm still not sure what's going on in Beyond Good. The girl has a camera and a pig friend. And the pig friend looks awful. The girl looks okay. But what's the point? She's taking... But I still don't know what the point of the game is. Nobody's ever explained it. You know why? Because all the people that I watch talk about video games that love video games, they never talk about Beyond Good and Evil. Only critics talk about Beyond Good and Evil. They say, well, where's our Beyond Good and Evil sequel? Well, I guess they're making one. Finally. Why? I've seen the trailers for it. It looks terrible. It doesn't look like a game I want to play. The original didn't look like a game I want to play. I don't know, but critics still keep ramming it down their throats. They say it's a classic. You gotta play it. Why? Didn't sell well. Obviously, nobody else thought it was a classic. Nobody was recommending it to their friends. Grand Theft Auto 3. When Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, it didn't come out to a lot of fanfare. But you know why it took off? Because everybody recommended it to their friends. You gotta play this game. So Grand Theft Auto 3 became a classic. And tons of us have played it. Millions of us have played it. Dozens of people have played Beyond Good and Evil. I don't know any of them, but I'm guessing critics have. Maybe if I knew a game critic, I might know somebody who's played it. Next game, Psychonauts. This is one of the ugliest games I've ever seen, character-wise. These are some of the ugliest looking characters I've ever... I can't play the game because the character models are so ugly. The main character has this gigantic head with these huge goggles on his head, and it's just like, this game, this main character looks terrible. And I've got to stare at this thing for 20 hours? No, thank you. I don't care how good the story is. If the game's ugly, it's like, I'm not going to stick around because every time you show a cutscene, I got to look at these characters like, Put that, if you took that out of the oven way too early, put it back in until it's done. It's horrible. It looks like his head was a souffle and it collapsed, and it's just this. It's the worst. It's the worst looking main character in the history of main characters, and I played Suikoden 4. Another game, Okami. Now, Okami looks nice. It's very artsy. You paint things with your controller on the screen to open up stuff. Okami is a wolf, and she's going around and trying to stop the evil. I don't get it. I've seen Okami. I've looked at Okami, and Okami's been rammed down my throat by every critic. And it's another one of those games. It keeps getting remastered and remade. I think it came out on the PlayStation 2. And it had a re-release on the PlayStation 3 and 4. Same with Shadow of the Colossus and Ico. Both of them have been re-released on multiple consoles. But it never sells well. But they probably sold millions of copies by now because they keep re-releasing the thing. But it's taken them over a decade to get to these numbers. Every time they remake this and re-release it, I guess they finally, because I think the critics keep telling them, people will buy it now. No, they won't. They still don't. These games are not selling that well. Over the years, they have maybe finally made their numbers. I mean, I'm sure if you look now how many copies Shadow of the Colossus is, I'm sure they're platinum now. I'm sure they've sold over 1 million now. But it's because of longevity. They've stuck around and kept re-releasing. Grim Fandango. Grim Fandango is another one of these games. Now, this is a game I downloaded when it was free, and I want to play it, but then I don't want to play it. It's a weird-looking game. It's got a weird aesthetic. It's got a weird... It's about somebody who dies, but it's not really dead, and he's in this weird in-between place, I guess. I don't know. Every time I've heard anybody ever try to explain it, it's just like I shrug my shoulders and go, I might play it. I got it for free. It's on my PlayStation 4. But I don't really want to play this thing. So you're asking yourself, well, why do these critics keep recommending these games? Because they're not the norm. They're different. Think about a critic's job. Every time Call of Duty is released, they have to play it and review it. Battlefield, they got to play it and review it. Any racing game, whether it's Forza, Gran Turismo, any sports game, Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K, they've got to play every one of these games every single year. Every time there's a Persona game, every time there's a Final Fantasy game, they got to play it. Persona's at number 5, Final Fantasy's at number 15, Madden's have been out for 25, 26, 27 years, FIFA's been around for over 2 decades. They've played these games, and they've played dozens of these games. So when a game comes out like Shadow of the Colossus, how many other games are like that? Not many. I can't think of another game where you climb up a giant and kill it, and then go climb up another giant and kill it till you resurrect your girlfriend. Can you? Same with Ico. How many games are you dragging around some girl through a castle trying to avoid bad guys? There's games where you try to save a girl in a castle, Mario, but not one where you're kind of dragging somebody around with you the whole time. Beyond Good and Evil. The only other game I can think of that has a camera aspect is either camera main focus is either Pokemon Snap or the Fatal Frame series. Not too many games use a camera as their main, I don't know. I guess you can always take pictures in just about every game. They always have take a photo shot, take a little screenshot, but where the camera is the main almost weapon, or I don't know. Psychonauts. I don't know what to tell you about Psychonauts. I just don't know how many games are this ugly. Okami, you're running around as a wolf. You're painting things with your little brush. Look at this. Circle that. Oh, it opened up. Bing! Instead of just hitting the X button, you circle it with your brush on the screen. It makes you feel like you're painting. Pretty, other than Mario Paint, how many games let you paint? Hey, I'm running around as a wolf. Circle this with the paintbrush. Bing! It opens it up for Okami. Grim Fandango. Not too many people were skeletons. I mean, medieval, I guess, the skeletons were the main thing. But that's the reason critics love these games. They're done competently. They are. I mean, I have no doubt that these games are done competently. They control well. The stories are tight usually, but the problem with them is they're not the norm. So these games keep getting rammed down our throats, but we look at them and we just go, well, it doesn't look like anything I want to play. You know why these games don't sell really, really well? And you don't have Shadow of the Colossus 5 or Psychonauts 6? Because not a lot of people are playing them. You know why you have 27 versions of Madden? People buy it every year. You sell 3 or 4 million copies of it. You know why Call of Duty releases every single year and they still sell 3 or 4 million copies? Because people are buying them. People want to play them. There may be a lot of us out there that bash the Call of Duty series and say it's gotten too fat and it's gotten, even Assassin's Creed, it disappeared for 1 year, came back pretty strong. It still sold a couple million copies. I don't think it did as well as Ubisoft was hoping it would do, but it didn't do badly, and even critics kind of liked it. But the reason some of these games keep getting rammed down our throats is because they're different, they're weird, they're quirky, they're kooky. They're the Addams family of video games. Some of them are mysterious. Ico's mysterious. Shadow of the Colossus is mysterious. Why are you killing all these giants? Resurrect your girlfriend. I think at the end there's a twist ending where you kill all these giants. And I don't think you get the ending that you think you're going to get. I won't spoil it because I don't know if anybody, because somebody may want to play it. Maybe. I don't know. If you watch this video, you may sit there and go, I want to try it. Going around and killing giants to resurrect my girlfriend sounds like a fun thing to do, even though the giants aren't the one that killed her. But somebody says if you kill all the giants, I'll bring her back. That's kind of messed up. Poor giants just roaming around, just doing their own thing. They're not hurting anybody, and you're killing them. Because you're selfish. Let the giants roam. But yeah. So what do you think? What are some what are some games that critics have been ramming down your throat for years, and they want you to play them, and you don't play them? What about that other weird game that released on the PS4 that was going to be released on the PS3 that had the weird bird dog thing? I don't hear much about that game anymore. In fact, I can't even remember the name of it. All I know is I didn't want to play it because the little thing Trico. I remember the pet's name's like Trico or something. It looks ugly. I don't care what people say. It looks ugly. It's supposed to be a dog, but it's got big chicken feet and a beak and feathers. Looks terrible. I don't want to control that. And they say he's obnoxious. He doesn't do what you say. Oh, great. So I have this little character in the game, or big character, and I need to have him do things to help me, and sometimes he won't do it. So what do? Just wait until he feels like it? Don't worry. Most fun part of a game is sitting around and waiting until the thing that you're asking to do something decides to do it. Don't worry, I'm sure I can entertain myself with the rumble feature in the video. Maybe I'll just go over and break a pot or something, or run in circles. How many circles can my character run? Until the big thing decides he wants to boost me up and put me on top of something. Oh, so much fun. That's why I can't remember the name of the game. There's a reason Grand Theft Auto 5 sells 10 million copies and more, and there's a reason why Ico still is on nobody's radar for games that they want to see a sequel to, except for critics. Critics want to see a sequel. We don't care. Critics, we get it. You like the quirky games because they're not the same that everybody else plays, but guess what? The rest of us, we don't care. We've seen you talk about them for years. We still don't care. So, with all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.